Hey, how's it going? I I pulled some cards and a whole bunch of them fell out. Well, actually, I ended up with a lot of them. Some fell, some didn't. I just decided to combine things. We'll see how it goes. I might mix two, and I might just, I don't know. We'll just see. So, first card I pulled was this guy. Tiger. Fire energy there. From the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. Nice. And then I pulled three from this one. The Shaman's Dream Oracle. Oh, come on, everything, please. Ooh, I didn't knock that over. Okay. I pulled number 34, Lay of the Land. Every time I see this, I think of Morro Bay in California. But it's number, 34. If you put 3 and 4 together, that's 7. 7's like, I want to associate it with, like, God and completion, like learning the lessons. The next card I'll write down more if I remember. I will write down more in the information box. And then the second card I pulled was number 22, Fool's Embrace. Kind of a person for our times. A little bit beat up. You have to get a little defensive. Like, got a lot of stuff messing with your head. You want to kind of like, you have like a defensive spines to keep people out of your head. Yeah. And I'm 22. 22 to me is just the same as 1111. So, yeah. And I could say a lot about that, but I think I'll confine my comments, because I could probably just go on and on about that, to the information box. And then the next card I pulled was Sky Dancer. Oh, shoot. Number 48. And if you add 4 and 8 together, that's 3. You'll get so excited. Gasp! And I read the subtitles on the other one. So the subtitle on this one is Surrender. Interesting that came up. And they expand on that. I may not, because that came from a personal area. We'll see if I can say stuff without spilling stuff. If I can say it without saying it. So, I don't think I want to start with the tiger. I think I want to start with these cards, because like I said, the 7, it has an association with God or spirit or mastery. I'm just going on memory here, but I'll try to remember to put something in the notes. Oops. Don't go crazy. What am I doing? 7. And then also this one. And the subtitle on here, it's Lay of the Land, and the subtitle on here is Ancestral Wisdom. So okay, and yeah, sure, Ancestral Wisdom for the completion of the spiritual cycle. And then the subtitle for Fool's Embrace is Transmuting Pain. The head does kind of look like a reverse headache, doesn't it? So maybe that's some transmutation after ash, I don't know, stuff. She does look crisp, like she looks like she's been torched. But you can feel that way. So, this last card here is Sky Dancers, and the subtitle again is Surrender. Something you have to do, I've found, if you want to advance in your spiritual learning, or I don't know, it doesn't even have to be as deep as that. Like sometimes when things get too hard, it's just easier to just surrender. And the reason why I said that earlier is because I did have to, like, I couldn't take it anymore. I just had to surrender this particular situation I was in. And it was like, okay, fine. I was tired of getting upset myself. I was upsetting the person I was working with, and it ended up being fine. But like, I found a kind of joy in the surrender, because they were like freaking out, and I was like, oh well, I mean, who's to blame for that? You. And they're like, I accept it. And they're like, something's fishy going on with you. What, you're acting weird. And I was like, no, I surrender. I give up. It's pretty much just don't care anymore. So whatever happens, happens. And then they were like freaking out, but I actually was able to do my job better. And I probably should not have been taunting my coworker the way I was, but it was fun. Because I knew, like, what they were freaking out about. They didn't need to do it. Like, it ended up being absolutely fine. So, yeah. So yeah, the numbers that are associated with spirit are kind of what I was focusing on with these. And what did I say, number 7, spiritual completion. Well, they just made it to the top of that hill. It's not a mountain, but everything doesn't have to be a mountain. Accomplishments can be on a more modest scale. I feel like the person standing on top of that rock formation is in the middle of something, some kind of, I mean, obviously, I'm going to say moon worship, lunar worship, and that's all good, but I'm thinking more about how they came to be up there, like what they went through, and now that they're there, they can look out and back and down and whatever, but even, review the events and experiences that got them there. So, this one, okay, come here. That 1111 is also like a highly spiritual number. It's meaning, like all of these numbers, they'll have a lot of similarities, and then they'll also have like particular differences, and it really kind of sometimes depends on the discipline that I'm working on, so that depend on the discipline I'm working on. I got a message and it just disfarcted me. It messed me up. Oh, man. Thanks a lot, bro. I can't rewind it right now. Oh, the numbers. Yeah, like it depends on, not my disciplines, it depends on which discipline I happen upon first, is how I work usually. When seeking out that kind of information, but I'll generally look at all of them just to like cover all of my bases. And so you'll learn that there's a lot of similarities, and then there's particular differences. And I think it's like these things for me. Like, it just depends on what the day, what I get. What I get depends on the day. And then, what is that? It's a piece of papaya. Tablet. Papaya tablet. And the final card is, well, it's number 48, and 4 and 8 are 12 if you add them together, but if you add 3 and 1 together, or 2 and 1 together, that's 3. Also a number that relates to like the Holy Spirit. So something real God about these cards. And yeah, look here, let me just write it down. 7, 11, 11, and 3. Okay, so there's that. And then this guy I pulled, and I just felt like, well, I really like this card because it looks like my cat in the face, especially when he was a kitten. His ruff was much more visible. Now he looks more just domestic cat-like, but not completely. He's got, I don't know, I don't even know where he came from. He looks like a certain, like, almost breed cat, like bred cat, but he was a stray. Anyway, though, the face is very like his. I mean, it's crazy how much. They probably all look very similar, but if you have had cats and lived with cats, you know that just like people, they'll have different facial structures. So it's like being able to tell black people apart. Sorry, let me get a hold of myself. But anyway, you learn to. And so I remember, though, I think other than the my cat thing, I thought of power. And something I learned recently, I mean, I read it, I don't know how true it is, because I don't know how you quantify this, but it was a video about what each cat color meant spiritually. So of course I watched it. Oh, you don't know, of course. I really like cats. I just have the one. He doesn't wear clothes. It's like pretty normal. If I had money, he might have clothes. And I do want to get a trailer so I can pull him around behind me when I'm riding my bike, or now I have an electric wheelchair, so I'm sure I could rig up some kind of way to drag him around behind me on that. But I have not graduated to that stage yet. But yeah, my cat's coat and color, he's a gray tabby, basically, and I think the breed he looks most like of, cats, actual domestic cats, is, oh wait, now I'm confused. It might be like an actual big cat, but a Siberian tiger cat. No, not Siberian tiger. No, it's a cat. Now I screwed up the name in my brain. Anyway, he's a gray tabby. And those are supposed to, like all cats, are supposed to be able to help cleanse homes of negative energy, and the particular colors all did a particular thing. Like, they have a specialty, but we're generally like doing the same thing. But they said, oh, the gray ones like can absorb and transmute the most negative energy in your home, and they're drawn to people that need to that have too much negative energy, and I was like, wait a minute now, what are you saying? Although, I don't want to knock that over. I also don't want my tablet to fall into whatever's behind the cutting board. I clean it, but particles get back there and dry up, and so you don't want your tablet to go back there. Your tablet that you want to ingest, not tappy tap. So, yeah, great. I guess I have negative energy. Oh, yes, that's what I was going to say. Referencing back to that, what was it I said? Surrender. Before I had the Zen of surrender, I had been freaking to freak out because this particular job, I got issues with it. It doesn't mesh well with my issues, so it's been like interesting, but I've needed the power real bad because, yeah, my temper, I'm like trying to work this thing, and I don't feel like I've done anything. It feels like it's worse than ever. Thank God the person that I'm working with is like exceedingly resilient and kind and tolerant. Like, I don't even know why I'm still around. Anyway, though, overall, though, I don't think that, like, I'm all super negative. I don't know, because I have found that sometimes I'll just be saying something casually and people will, like, turn into stone. They don't answer. It's just like, what did I say? Oh my God. So I don't know what to do about that. I don't know that I should do anything about that because I could very well be offending these particular people, but I say stuff like it all the time to lots of other people and do not get the same reaction. So I don't know. I guess I got to think about that. People have a lot of rules. Like my coworker, poor thing, has to suffer from two things: my temper, and I'm black. And I was brought up by black people that were boomers, so they curse. I don't know. I think you find a lot of cursing in the black community, like probably more so than, well, I don't have to guess. I know it's more so than in the white community, and there's plenty there too. But it's not always, it's like punctuation. It is literally descriptive terms, or it's not always a weapon. It's still like a frustration. It's like if you hammer your thumb accidentally, what do you say? You don't say flowers and rainbows, or most people don't. A lot of people just go straight to the F word, like me. That's the one. And all of these factors made me just feel, oh man, I sound horrible, but I don't feel horrible. So, as often happens when I have some sort of confusion, I didn't particularly articulate a request for this, but I like to watch Cryon and Cryon Lee Carroll YouTube channel, and he was saying that someone asked, oh wait, where was that? Oh, it wasn't on Cryon, it was on Sterling Psychic Medium, and someone had asked him about cursing, and he said, well, it depends on the spirit it's in. You can say anything you want. I mean, it's just a word like anything else, but it's kind of not a word like the rest of them because we take offense. But when I get mad, I'm just saying the F word over and over. And although if you get too close, you might get caught in the fan blades. And that's all I'll say about that. So, yes, power. And this is black and white. And it's a Siberian, not a Siberian tiger. There's a certain kind of Siberian cat that I'm trying to, let me see if I can remember. But anyway, let's just say he's my cat. He's a gray tabby. Or he's this particular white tiger. That stuff in the background. I mean, the tiger transmutes your negativity by eating it and then gassing it out his rear end. That's what that is back there. Yay. But you know, all of that silliness taken as a metaphor, like, I feel like it's symbolic. It's like a spirit we should have when we're surrounded by the negativity, maybe, or like, you know, like embody the ability to sort of move through it and ingest it like a worm, and then as it goes through, turn it into something else, or yeah, I don't know what it's. It's like spent. It has to go to the reclamation plant or something. I'm on a great metaphor or a great roll there. Okay, so how am I doing on time? Oh, not bad. Okay, and then completely separate from these ones I just read, which I feel like are indicating a general or mass graduating class, basically. And I wouldn't say that everybody who's upgrading, it's not the word I want, but it'll work, or whoever, you know, everyone who's sort of like waking up spiritually and having revelations and breakthroughs and stepping up leveling. That's what I wanted to say. But not everyone's going to be at the same level at the same time, or you know, even simultaneously doing whatever, except for the fact that it's just coming like in waves. And as that's happening, well, we feel a lot of stuff. We feel weird. We feel physically ill. We feel physically weird sensations, and hearing and seeing and smelling and tasting. Like, all of your senses are doing things maybe that are like, well, that's new. I have had this experience, like with my vision, where like for some reason everything's trying to be all convex, concave, accordion, like retract, whatever I'm saying, but retract, expand, and other things. So, like, don't be afraid of it. It's it's all natural. But you know, you get to a point where you start to realize, because like maybe in the beginning for people, they have such weird ascension symptoms that they visit a doctor, and then the doctor's like, there's nothing wrong with you. And I just had a thought, like, it's very similar to people. Oh shit, my candles. Damn. I already had one of my glasses explode on me, like literally on me. Well, anyway, going to the doctor, and yes, and the doctor with the ascension symptoms going, okay, well, you have these headaches, but there's nothing going on in your head, or your bones are aching, there's nothing wrong with them, like whatever it is. And then I was gonna say, before the glass warned me it was about to explode. Thank you, appreciate that. lost my place. Oh my God. No, come on, brain, don't do it now. Oh, it reminded me of the people that live in the haunted houses and they get all messed up when they're in the house. And sometimes the repeated exposure of whatever kind of entity has a problem with you enough that it's like messing with your innards, that sometimes it does stay physically manifest, but in most cases, like the scratches, those unless it breaks the skin, from what I've seen, that tends to go away like in not too long a while, and it could be very painful from what I understand, and look pretty scary. Although what I see on camera, like, I guess I need to see it in person because it doesn't look like that big of a deal. I mean, I understand it's a big deal because of where it came from, but just for an injury itself, I don't think the television camera is portraying exactly what's happening with it, because it sounds like even the people that didn't like actually get the scratch are looking at it going, wow, that's like pretty gnarly, or whatever. But then if they leave and go to the hospital, except for in extreme cases like I mentioned, the doctor will be like, I can't find anything wrong with you, which I feel like is the ghost's also a way of trolling you when you're outside of the house. Sterling says they're tricksters. That would be a pretty tricky dick thing to do. Okay, so enough of those. And this deck is the Lightseer's deck. And that's not a good view. There you go. And I really like this one. It's a tarot deck, but it doesn't look like the Rider-Waite. But it has the same things, just with different art. So it didn't come with a book. I have books, but I just felt like boom, boom, boom. So I'm going to tell you what it said. Choices. Now, I pulled these cards, by the way, interrupting myself. I pulled 5 cards for my own purposes. Like, I had no intention of sharing this with you. So, choices. That's what this card is about. Now, I feel like all of us are in a spot right now where we have a lot of choices that we're confronted with, and they could run the gamut from I can't even tell you what specifically. Like, you may need to get a job, or you may need to get rid of a job. You may be presented with lots of opportunities for some sort of career or work, whatever you want to call it. Like, it could be something like that. It could be something to do with your family, where you're gonna live, or is it breaking up? Is it adding? Is it getting together? All of this kind of stuff presents us with a lot of choices. So that's just like an example that I just dug out of my ear. I mean, going along the same lines, we can all think of like all kinds of things. Like, that could be a problem. That could be a problem, or not a problem, but I mean, that could enter into it as well, though. I mean, you might make the wrong choice. Like, oops, dang, I should have done that. Not like that doesn't happen. So, and then the water. It's like it's fast moving, and I feel like it's disturbing his ability to concentrate and make a choice, or it just represents like the whole overwhelming, like I was just saying, number of things that we're confronted with that you have to like make a decision about. Like, oh, I banged my arm. Should I say it aloud that it hurt, or did it hurt? Like, I don't know if that's like a choice people make, or like next thing that happens, like some kid says something to you like nice or rude. How do you respond? You know what I'm saying? Like, we all got a lot of choices, and I think we really have to decide wisely, if we can, to the best of our ability, because things could be moving at speed. We're like thinking on the fly, and that's fine. Like maybe that's something that we're like learning as we're like on our way up. How to make the choices, how to make good choices. Okay, and then this card I pulled was Knight of Wands, and I just saw like hurry, like impulsive, not really given what you're doing a lot of thought, although there's direction, there is a purpose, but you're just kind of like this horse prancing away in the background. It has no bridle or any kind of horse wear, horse attire on it. And it may know this woman joyfully whacking away at her drum, or it may just be out wherever this is, somewhere with a red landscape. I hope they're not in that Utah area where all the actors got cancer, but I know I'm sorry. It does look that color there, though. Sorry about the cancer part. Well, I didn't cause it. That was the government's fault. My government. The U.S. government, to be specific. Anyway, I'm feeling like this is just a wild horse that just went by and was like, yeah, man, cool. I mean, you think it sounds crazy? Watch some animal videos on YouTube. Animals like music. I'm sure, like, I could see how drumming would appeal to a horse. Their running is rhythmic. So, choices, things moving fast. We could be, we have to be careful. We could be, like, getting the cart before the horse in our hurry to complete our mission, whatever it was we're supposed to be doing as the Knight of Wands. And then the Seven of Swords. It feels like this guy, for some reason, is stuffing ravens into his backpack. I don't think he's well, does it? It looks, I can't tell if he's released them or added them, because the ravens in the front there, they're not really trying to run, like it's almost like they're working together, and it's this weird, it feels like it's nighttime, like he's got the whole hood and under the cover of night, like outfit, and crouching so you can't be seen with the big bright, thank you, the big bright moon over you. It's gotta be a moon, like the sun's, I don't know when it's that color. But okay, so that's what I feel like. And in the ravens, to me, the blackbirds represent some kind of secrets or messages that, oh shoot. This guy in the front is telling us something. Look how big he's like, I'm trying to tell you. He's running off with my brothers or my feathers or something. But spy messages, like who's stealing away with this information? What are we talking about here? And then the next card was the High Priestess, and I'm thinking that maybe those feathers or ravens were being brought by her person assisting her. And she's deep in, it's deeper than thought. It looks like it could be like in full trance state, like having consumed those messages, and now she's I don't know what she's doing honestly with them. Some sort of process, learning something, obviously, employing what she knows for some purpose. I don't know, I guess that's us. Like, we have some kind of dark messages coming at us, and, you know, again, with the negativity, come here, oh, come here, and, like, the need to be strong and, you know, transmute that. And so she's composing herself and assembling her lines of attack. That, I don't know. That's it. I don't know. Attack seems, I don't know, it's just me, but. And then the final card was Judgment, and you know, I look at this and we're like, it looks to me like this person is underwater, and they're really kind of like torn up about, like they're deep in the feelings, deep, and so you know, the Rider-Waite style tarot has people in a cemetery rising up from the crypts, and it always reminds me of New Orleans, because the ground is so marshy there that you can't really bury people. I think they would end up like washing away. They get a lot of, well, they get hurricanes, and I don't know, learn about New Orleans online if you want to know more. But that's what it makes me think of. Except that for the most part, on those Rider-Waite judgment cards, everybody's above ground, but there are people coming up out of the crypts. So, I mean, Judgment Day, I don't know what, the rapture, I don't think that's the word I want really, but or maybe it is, but like the end times, when like all of Jesus and all of the dead people come back, all of them, even the ones in the crypts. Although you know, so it looks like she's drowning and her spirit is rising up, but I'm thinking that's like a metaphor, kind of in line with what I was just saying, because rising up out of the crypt, that's rebirth. Come on, brain. That's rebirth. So, as a metaphor, you've gone through all these things, you know. You've been up and down the hills. You've, like, absorbed all of the feelings around you, like, inadvertently, maybe, probably. But you got your own stuff too. You gotta like deal with and get through and purge and do all of the processes, and this one's had a hard time of it. But I think they're gathering themselves. I feel like that peachy moon that's in all of these things, I feel like that's kind of energizing this being after all they've been through. Like a, I don't know, like a tide. Look it up. Yeah, ocean tide. So, yeah, and then surrender, giving in to all of the lessons and just letting it be, and like not trying and concentrating so hard on achieving anymore, and just being free to like not care and act with abandon and feel free. And it requires some strength to have all of that, so, or to do all of that, I should say. So by the time we get here, it may feel like we died and we're born again. You know, it's not a bad thing. We tend to, and when I say we, I mean I really, and I'm doing my best to break free of this sort of habitual thinking that whatever is hard is bad. It feels bad in the moment, you know, and I'm still not like, you know, using both hemispheres of my brain at once. I feel like it takes time. I'm not like one of those people that's super good at it immediately, the first try, whatever it is. Like, I gotta do it a few times before I even start to think about getting a hang of it. That's okay. Okay. Earlier I saw it doesn't matter. I saw something talking about patience, and it was like, actually I've heard this a lot of times from the Arcturians. They say you're in such a rush to like hurry up and get through the shift and on to the next dimension. And when we do that, we like cutting ourselves out of experiences. Like they say we should slow down and savor the experience, because even though our immediate impulse is to think of like, oh my god, this is horrible and bad and wrong, like maybe after it's over and we can sort of step away from, you know, the heat of the moment, we can look back and think, okay, like, wow, that felt kind of hard at the time, but you know what, I made it, and that's a good thing. You get through the hard things, it's good. You got to get to the hard things to get to the good things, or to appreciate them. Don't start shuffling. Put it away. And I think that's it. Thank you and good night. Seriously.